scheduled. It doesn't say live yet. Oh, hey.
You got to give it time, man.
Patience.
Golly.
What is patience?
We have this opportunity to make a first impression. That first impression is Dave's really impatient. I love it.
I mean, that's not something
accurate.
That's not something that's new to everybody here. I mean, come on.
So what does let's PA mean?
Huh?
Your background. Let's PA. Oh, let's play for the A. Got it.
I mean,
Not hashtag chop on.
Well, you know they're trying to get rid of the chop. Unfortunately, at least they're keeping the Braves name.
That's true.
So, by the way, we are live. Your dad just says, "Yay, they're on." Thank you,
Yay.
Virgil. Yes, we're a little late. Sorry.
Yay.
As a lifetime Washington Redskins fan, let's not talk about team names this week.
I had a great idea. They should change their name to the Washington Red Hats. Hashtag MAGA. I don't think
How about the Washington Snowflakes?
Uh-huh.
Washington Tories?
I don't have a problem with Red Tails. It's just that it's not tied to Washington. That's an
Alabama thing. Right.
It needs to be like a minor league baseball team.
Yeah, let's do what the fine folks of Huntsville did. They did a fine job.
Trash Pandas.
Hey, hold up. Do you want me to go get my Trash Pandas hat?
No.
I want you to send me a Trash Pandas hat, you jerk.
Terry, you live an hour away from me.
You come up here to buy bourbon, you can at least bring me a hat.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is a good point. That is a very good point. By the way, for those of you who are watching right now, Mr. Terry Weaver. Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
What have you forgot to put on the live?
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
There should be a ticker.
We go.
There's a ticker. And Terry, you will notice on the ticker that you will see your TerryWeaver.com or at Terry Weaver on Twitter.
Yeah, for the 9 people still actually using Twitter.
Hey, we use Twitter and it actually works for us.
No, you use Twitter.
That is right. I'm the Twitter Look, you don't even know what an Instagram story is, Adam.
I don't understand stories. Why would you make something that goes away?
It's the same thing as Snapchat.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
All right, boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer, exactly.
So the reason Terry's here is we had some scheduling conflicts last week for the 50th show, but Terry is here to do the...
No, we didn't have scheduling conflicts. Adam had a bedtime, even though you guys still recorded the same amount of time.
Last week was not the week for us to be up until past midnight with me then editing. So
no, I hear you.
Yeah, but last week was behind us. NBA players are on property.
They are.
Even though they think that they're staying in the Motel 6. Adam, you don't have to comment on that. That's something that you can hear Terry and I comment about on Top of the World.
Well, we can talk about it now.
Well, no, because Adam is on the
picture.
show.
The picture was the appetizer, man. I mean, what do you want? That was one course that the dude.
No, the picture was the brand new, beautiful Grand Destino Tower at Disney's corner.
Have you not
heard
talking
about that? I haven't.
Rajon Rondo. Yeah, so Rajon Rondo this week or last week tweeted where they got us staying at the MF and Motel 6, and it was the Grand Destino Tower. Had a king size bed, a beautiful, everything that Destino's got. And Terry's sitting here saying I haven't released the episode yet. I still have to finish editing that. But Terry's sitting here saying
a couple of days late.
Hey, look, hashtag we both talked for 2 hours and I've got to shorten it.
Yeah, that's
true. But Terry's sitting here saying, as a DVC guy, he would love to have Destino. And Rajon Rondo's over here saying it looks like the Motel 6. So
I guess it's all relative.
It's all relative, Mr.
At the end of the day, it's a hotel room. Like, there's going to be a shower, a toilet, some weird piece of furniture that doesn't function as anything, but the TV is there, and there's like a Gideon's Bible there, and so it's like, I mean, what all do you want out of a hotel room?
I mean, he has to realize that when you go to Disney World, you don't go for the hotel room, right?
Yeah, no, but
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Don't go for the hotel room. You guys are making it sound like Destino's like.
Oh no, Destino's awesome.
Then why are we even having this conversation? Oh, you have to realize when you're going to Disney, you're not going for the hotel room. Have you been in a Destino room?
Yes, and it's awesome.
You have.
Yes.
In a room.
In a room.
I stayed because our good friend John Rogers, Huntsville's own, booked me a night. Not that I paid for. I got my pass holder discount, which I imagine would probably even be better right now. But it was a fantastic night in the old. In fact, that restaurant on top of Grand Destino is currently one of my favorite.
Topolino.
Yeah, it's really good.
Topolino's is mine.
No, the oh gosh, what is that? The Toledo's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had a warm olive in my life until I ate. I mean, I've had them in like things cooked, but they
don't
serve
like
an
olives.
appetizer with warm olives that is absolutely fantastic.
It's true.
Is it an amuse-bouche?
No, it's an appetizer. It's not a French restaurant.
Oh, speaking of French restaurants, Adam, are you excited for the food and wine so you and Aiden can eat some more snails?
Sure. That's a must-have for us every year. You enjoy the escargot.
Oh, are the is that booth back?
Yeah.
Man, I can pound some snails, man.
Are you serious?
Especially in that garlic butter that they put in there. Yeah.
Okay, Topolino's has a fantastic escargot, but the food and wine, that's 100% of my top 3 food and wine every year.
I am a little sad that my favorite food and wine dish is no longer there. It hadn't been there for 2 years. The little hidden thing or whatever it was that Brazil. No, it was called the little hidden. If Amanda's watching, she's probably not. But
Surely she's not.
I
know. Ellie usually makes her watch. So but anyway, it was like a little. It was like a shepherd's pie, and it was awesome. But they don't have it anymore at Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, my favorite is always the spanakopita in Greece. That's one of my go-tos.
That's a good one
every time.
Or I mean, you can always do the.
Although it's
the
one of those
cheese.
things that's like, why'd you get the spanakopita? It's like $19 in food and wine.
Yeah.
You go to an actual Greek restaurant and have it for like $1.79.
Yeah.
Although I mean, the cheese dip it's a soup, but it's always a dip for me because I always get the pretzel bread and just dip it and.
Now I'll tell you what cheese dip is fantastic since we're talking about Disney snacks. Is during the Festival of the Holidays in California Adventure, they have a cheese dip that is probably my favorite queso on the planet. And it's not like in a little food and wine. It's like $4.95 or whatever. And it's a vat of cheese. Versus a vat. A trough. It's definitely bigger than your average food and wine size.
Did you just block Eric Terry?
I didn't mean to. How do I unblock something?
Would you stop clicking things in my tool, Dave?
Can you help me here?
You can't unblock you can't. In this stream, he is now blocked from commenting on this stream.
Well, he said he was done.
Okay, listen, when you click a comment, everybody, just behind the scenes, there are 2 options, delete comment and block user. And you chose the latter.
This is why we can't have nice things, right?
Oh, I can see the comments in here. Here we go.
Yeah. You can see the comments, but I don't think you can show them.
No, I can see all 3 people who listen to your show.
Hey.
There are 8 people on here right now.
There's 8, Mr. Weaver.
Okay,
gosh.
Cool.
We get a lot more lessons. Thank you very much. And
Did I call my mom and get my mom to watch?
Sure.
Do we need more? Do we need more viewers tonight?
No,
we'll take her. It don't matter to us.
Yeah,
go for it.
Eric just sent me a thumbs up text message. Sorry.
You sure that's a thumb?
Exactly.
Anyway,
are we gonna go live and do this thing? What are we doing? What is this?
We're live
You
now.
took Dave down the Disney rabbit hole, man. You know what happens.
If we're gonna talk, I'll get you off of it. Have you seen the new Ford Bronco?
Yes.
Yes, it's a Jeep. It's not a Ford Bronco.
And it comes in all kinds of Easter egg colors.
It's a Jeep and a the new Land Rover.
Yes, the new Disco.
Yeah.
Whatever that what is that thing called? The
Discovery.
Defender.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely like those two had a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
With a hole in the door.
So
see, I'm not a big fan of it.
I'm not either, because who do you usually see driving those pastel colored Jeeps?
Okay,
O.J. Simpson.
I want a yellow one to put the Thing logo on.
No, that would be cool.
That makes sense.
I'm working on a Ford endorsement right now, so
Huh.
because why not?
What was your answer, Dave? Who do you usually see driving those?
O.J. Simpson driving Ford.
No,
Broncos.
not a Ford Bronco. The pastel-colored Jeeps.
Oh, the Jeeps. Oh, sorority girls.
Sorority girls. Listen to Luke Bryan and Sam Hunt,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right?
Well,
The very first Ford Bronco picture I ever saw on Facebook was a girl that I used to go to youth group with back in the day. And it was, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get one of these. It's a Jeep. It's just Ford's version of.
well,
You're
let's
going to see a
not
lot
talk,
of them parked outside of country music festivals all around the country now.
Let's not talk about whose favorite, whose first car out of college was a Jeep.
Mine was, yeah.
Okay,
And it wasn't
Jeep,
one of these pastel-colored ones.
the Jeep Liberty.
It was.
Okay, that's even worse.
Thanks.
I don't know any other male that actually bought a Jeep Liberty. Everybody else,
That was my college graduation gift. Thank you very much.
exactly. Everyone who I know got their dad bought it for them out of high school, and they were all girls. It's okay.
It's okay. Thank you. It's okay.
Anyway, all right. So Terry's here because Adam had an early bedtime last week, and because this is the big 51st extravaganza.
It'll be just like Disney. Hey, we forgot to do the celebration. We'll do it later. No big deal.
I mean, hey, we'll make it fit. We'll do it live. I'll be. What's that dude's name? I forget it every week.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. Anyway, so what we're doing is Terry is taking over Unrelated at Birth. And it's going to be a little interesting because he's going to turn the tables and interview us, and hilarity will probably ensue.
Hilarity. Wow.
I'm not expecting it, but if it does,
Set the bar high on that one. Hilarity.
I mean, Terry and I were told on a different podcast that we host together that we fight like an old married couple. So basically, it's just like Unrelated at Birth.
yeah, our whole kick is brothers, though. I don't think the marriage thing goes too far with our.
we are both from Alabama, sir.
well, there you go.
Yeah, but you still live there. But you still live there, so don't count me in that.
Or we've maybe both just learned that Dave's always wrong. That maybe that's.
Hold up. No.
Well, we've definitely learned if we're married, who the wife is in the situation. Because he's over there whining about it. Well, you want a little cheese with that?
What kind of cheese are we talking?
Dip
For
from
you-
Canada, because it's not soup.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
For
I
you,
mean,
probably
come
like
on.
a nice baked brie.
Ugh, I don't like hot cheese like that. Come on.
I'm not going to give you like a manly cheese. I'm going to give you like a fancy cheese.
I mean, I'll take some
Gruyere.
Gouda. I'll take some Gouda.
It is not fancy, dude.
Yeah, unless it's smoked, then that's a little different.
That's true.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of smoked, I'm doing a brisket this weekend,
Yeah, good for you.
so it'll be fun.
It's what everybody does now.
Smoking.
Yeah, my mom bought. I knew it was over when my mom bought the smoker.
All right.
It's like-
So before.
There's
Yeah.
no reason to leave it to the professionals that have been studying the craft of barbecue for years.
No.
Yeah.
Let's just try this at home with our electric smoker.
I mean, I use a Pit Boss. It's a pellet grill. Really.
I was gonna say,
but-
or even worse, your pellet grill.
Got to go
I
snake
mean-
method on a Weber, dude. Come on.
no.
Come on. You got to do something you have to work at. Not, oh, let me check my phone and see what the temperature is on my.
It's not a phone. I have a wireless Bluetooth digital thermometer.
You say bourgeois, I say bourgeois. It's all the same difference. man.
Are we recording? Can we start this thing?
Yeah. Real quick, I have to do my 2 dad jokes of the week, and then we can start recording. You're-
I feel like you've already done them, but whatever.
Why did Cinderella get kicked off the football team?
We're waiting. Do
She
you need
kept
to be
running-
prompted?
No. Well, I thought y'all were going to guess, but she
No.
kept running. She kept running from the ball. And then, what's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bike? It's all about attire.
Wow, man.
Oh, come on. That was good. That
No,
was
no,
good.
the second that you definitely peaked at the first one.
Yeah.
Although I'll tell you, I'll still take Cinderella as Alabama's kicker if she won't run from that ball. I'll take anybody, any help we can get in that department.
Heck, I'd even take the freaking Polish orphan back right now.
That's inappropriate.
Is it?
It is.
He was Polish and he was an orphan.
I don't know that we can say these things in 2020.
No.
Okay, fine. All right. So, Terry, count us in, and then
How long do we have to do this thing for? Is this like, is there a designated amount of time we have to put up with this?
Exactly how long do you need me to be here?
45.
We'll make
What
that
do
the
you-
show intro.
What do
Yeah.
you charge by? What did y'all agree on? Is it by the minute, by the hour? What are we talking here?
I told him I won't be quite as annoyed next time we record on Top of the World to come on the show.
Not possible.
That's a big promise.
Let's just
Hey.
go.
You got
Let's just
smart
do-
for that one.
Let's do this. Shut up.
All right.
That's a good intro. Well, welcome home. This isn't the Top of the World podcast, but it is unrelated to birth. In a related topic, I have no idea what this show's about. But
Neither
I'm
do we.
here because apparently these guys don't either. We're here to talk. They asked me to take over. I'm not sure why. I'm even more unsure of why I said yes. But we're here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Terry Weaver. I'm author, speaker, Disney fan who is co-host of WW Today and also Top of the World with the golden voice of the mouth of the South, whatever his name is, Dave Adams.
Hey! If you're going to come on my podcast, you have to say it right.
The broken down jukebox or whatever you are. I don't even know what that is.
Backstory on that one,
Wow.
Terry, is I anything you say, I can pretty much make a song out of it. And so Adam's wife calls me the human jukebox.
Okay.
And so that's where that came from.
That's her polite way of saying you're annoying.
I resemble that.
He's
remark.
handling this very well. He's fitting right in. I like this.
I've got my Mickey Mouse final spring training Tervis here with a little bit of the South's finest tea with a little accoutrement.
Lemon.
Which accoutrement is in it?
Don't worry about it.
Because I've got some of the South's finest Tennessee single barrel Jack Daniels in my cup.
Oh, there you go.
I have a Figment food and wine cup with water in it.
Oh, there you go.
Cheers, guys.
I thought
Where's
I had
your
all
coffee?
I thought I had all the Figment food and wine cups, but I don't have that one. That's the real question with Food and Wine Festival coming. When did the Tervises come out?
Yeah.
Ooh,
'Cause,
that
you
is
know,
a good question.
Because the 893 of them that I do have, I need to add another one. So how did you two knuckleheads meet? How did this whole bromance start?
Bromance.
Bromance.
So
Well, you're
Let's-
from Alabama, so it really may be a bromance. So we don't, like
hey, let's take it back. Let's go into the Wayback Machine. The year
way
was
back.
2000.
does Adam
And-
get to talk on this show, or is this just more of you talking, Dave?
Okay, fine. Adam,
No, go
You-
ahead. You were waxing lyrical, please. Wax on.
wax off, wax on. So the year was 2000. I was hanging
In
out
the
with.
year 2000.
I love it.
I was hanging out with a guy named Clarence Robertson and Willie Cooley, and they lived and we all lived in Patey Hall at the University of Alabama.
And those all sound like Alabama names too. So this is fantastic. Clarence and what was the first guy's name?
Willie.
Willie.
Clarence and Willie. That was Owen Duke's original name before they changed it.
Yeah. And so I lived on the 4th floor of Patey Hall, and apparently this loser over here lived on the 5th floor in the engineering dorm, in the engineering wing.
Did they give
And,
the engineers their own wing?
They did.
They did.
It's a quiet space for us to actually study in.
Yeah. That was
Except for-
social distancing first experiment. It's like, let's just keep the engineers in one place.
Yep.
It'll be safer for them, and everyone else will have a better time in college.
Yeah.
They won't be able to have real conversations with people.
No one
So we'll
understands
just
what they
look it
say
over
anyway.
here.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny, though, is I had more fun up in the engineering wing than I had anywhere else at Patey Hall. Go figure. But
Did
anyway.
everybody dress in like the Geek Squad outfits? Like that? When I think of engineer, I just think of the white shirt with black tie look, you know? Like,
Yes, that's exactly that's what it was. You ever seen the IT crowd? You know, Morris. That's
yeah.
with the hair and the glasses. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, standard uniform.
Yeah.
So the first time I ever hung out with Adam, this is before Adam and I really hung out with each other. We went, me and Willie and Clarence, those two names again, went to the Alabama-Georgia women's basketball game.
Yep.
Why I went to a women's basketball game, I don't know. But no one was there. So we sat courtside in the nice, comfy courtside seats. Adam was hanging out with, were you there with Major and Scott?
I was probably there with Lindy
I don't know.
in some of that
It
crowd.
sounds like you guys live with a bunch of cartoon characters. Major and Scott and little G.I. Joe and
It wouldn't have been Major and Scott though. I don't think we would have been that. I think I was there with Lindy. We did a lot of that stuff, and women's basketball games were the best because to Dave's point, you got to sit courtside, and we ended up being part of like a little booster team. You didn't because you were in the
No.
band. But I ended up being part of a booster team, and we got to have lunch with them, and they'd have little events. And my parents almost got thrown out of a game by the referee because we were yelling at them. It's a lot of fun. Women's basketball is intense, man. Definitely more competitive than our men's basketball team tends to be.
I didn't even know Alabama had a basketball program. So
No, we don't.
That's
We
round
play
foot-
basketball.
That's
not a
round
program.
football, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the reason this game sticks out to me is for some reason we all got under the Georgia coach's skin and just was letting him have it. And then he turned around and let his anger out on his girls, on his team.
yeah,
And Adam, after the game, you know, just writes this scathing review of him.
Which I still
in-
have a copy of.
Do you really?
I came across that the other day. Yeah.
In the crimson white, and it was just pretty much everything I would say to a person to get them riled up anyway. So I don't know, Adam, what you got to add to that?
No, I think that's it. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. Like I met my wife in Patey Hall. I met Dave in Patey Hall. You know, a lot of the things and people that I still hang out with and do to this day came from that environment. It's fun to think about. It all ties back to just a couple of years on one floor of a building, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what started it. And then, you know, you realize you have so much in common. You start hanging out and doing other stuff. And then after all this time, we got together and figured, well, why not talk about it? We're already talking about this kind of stuff every day over text and, you know, on the phone and all that kind of stuff. Why not put it out there and see if anybody else is interested in hearing about it and talking about it too?
wait. So you guys, as grown men, were calling each other on the phone still?
I still don't. I don't understand why Dave still calls on the phone. I got to be honest with you. Half the time, what did you post the other day on Facebook? That if you had a gun to your head and you called one person, and if that person didn't answer, that you were spared, who would you call? And you said it was me.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
Why are you calling on the phone? Just text. What do you have to say?
If I'm driving, I'm not going to call. I'm not going to text you.
Yeah.
Where are you driving to? How long are you in your car? You're supposed to be at home anyway. Like cooping yourself up.
You do realize that I'm an on-the-go person, right? This is the worst torture to me.
Actually, what
So-
I've learned in 2020 is like how much I really just don't like being around people all the time. Like it's just kind of like
We were social distancing before it was cool, Terry.
because I mean my job is I'm always around people, so like
Yeah.
it's like wow, I have all this time to watch the TV I want to watch.
Yeah,
Although I
we
really
were
haven't watched
driving.
anything, but
Well, yeah, I mean, we were driving to the Hollywood Studios cast preview today and take the same route that I go to work. And I realized within 15 minutes why I'm glad I don't have to commute every day. I don't.
You work from home.
I do now. Yeah.
Did you before?
I worked backstage at studios in the feature animation building. I still technically have an office there, but we're working from home for the foreseeable future. So,
and they're going to tear that building down anyway. So,
I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't eventually.
I mean, that's prime park real estate. So eventually, that's going to hopefully be in my mind, that's the entryway to Monstropolis.
That would be cool. I would be happy with that.
In my armchair Imagineering, in fact, last time I was at Disney Imagineering, I suggested that to Bob Weiss because that's his park.
Yeah,
and he still runs Imagineering, and I said, "Hey, man, before you go, make something real awesome that's not Star Wars happen." Hollywood Studios.
So 2 of the 3 of us have been to Imagineering. Did you go out to Glendale?
I went to Glendale.
Okay.
Glendale.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
got to spend a little time with Bob Weiss himself and my buddy McNair. Oh,
nice.
Why
did you leave, Dave?
If all we have to do to get Dave off a podcast is talk about Imagineering, that's all I'm talking about on Top of the World every week now.
Oh. But you talk about all the cool things that y'all have done that I haven't gotten to do yet.
So the coolest thing I saw, this will really, last time I was there, we went to go see Bob, because McNair was with me, and I was with another Imagineer, Louis Lemoyne.
And this is the good Bob, right? Not the 2 bad
Bobs? This is the good of the Bobs. This is the really good Bob.
Okay.
This is the Bob that is responsible for. He was the lead for Shanghai.
Yeah.
He was the original lead for MGM Studios. I mean, he was Marty Sklar's right-hand guy. And so we were walking down the hallway, Bob's like, "You got to see this." And he took me to there's not a lot you can really see in Imagineering unless you're actually even like average Disney employees just can't go in there and see. Like, you can only see what you're meant to see. But in the hallway, they had the display of Rocket from the new Tower of Terror overlay ride with all the animation points and all the like push points of how they articulated his mouth movement and his tail movement. So
That's
speaking
cool.
speaking of trash pandas.
Hey, yeah.
So yeah, that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But at the end of the day, when you go to Imagineering, you go walk in, there's like the security desk or whatever. Then like the door in front of you is what McNair calls the Hall of Vice Presidents. Because it's all that's where McNair's office used to be, but it's all like people who are basically in charge of something at the time.
Yeah.
Because they just want to be able to run between offices. And then you kind of go down another hallway, and it's like there's a bathroom and the Disney Employee Credit Union sign, and then you can go through like a Starbucks, and into their like their little like cafeteria wannabe thing that's there, and then there's a nice most of the action's really on the patio.
Yeah,
because it's California and the weather is normally fantastic there, so they're normally outside, all eating on a patio.
Yeah,
y'all are making me sad.
The coolest thing they've got there is that outdoor conference room. It's right next to like their Company D where they sell all the merchandise, the cast member merchandise. They have a glass-walled conference room just out in the middle, so you can have a meeting inside, but you're outside at the same time and kind of get that whole vibe. Did they have the monorail hallway finished when you were there, Terry?
I didn't go like. I've always been when they were in the middle of like major things.
Got it. So
like my access was pretty limited.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times and when you think about how much Imagineering covers the Glendale, I mean Disney basically owns Glendale, California.
Yeah.
It's city blocks.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a Company D. I just went to Mickey's at Glendale.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to have to do the Adventures by Disney, where I can do all of that background stuff and go through the adventure or whatever they take you through.
Yeah, I mean you don't want to do that. If they ever open up California again, old Gavo ever decides to open that state back up, and I'll do another event out there. But the day before the event, we always go to Imagineering.
Oh, well, you know what?
See?
You should bring your DVC podcast co-host with you, and I can help you. I can be your assistant I can be your little thing.
We do call that event the mini thing. But from now on, we'll definitely call you the little thing.
So now you're the human jukebox, the golden voice of the South, the little thing, Dave Adams. I love it.
Yes.
Two of those are good. One of those.
I agree.
Hey.
Human jukebox has to go. It's not.
You
good
did it
at all.
yourself. The human jukebox is annoying. This is more degrading. That's what we're looking for.
One of these things is not
So-
like the other.
So if you get out there, I'll go with you guys just to be the photographer for Dave, like, and just capture all of his like reactions and moments, and we'll IG the heck out of that stuff.
Yeah, it was
I'll
really
make some
last year-
stories.
Every time I've gone, what's really cool about Imagineering is it's sort of like Cheers, that they just kind of keep coming back. So like every time I've been there, there's been crazy people there, and they just kind of sit down, because if you're with guys that have been there, you know, and I normally go with guys that worked there in the 80s and 90s, and so all the OG people, you know, everybody kind of wants to be around it, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Your dad says he sees a T-shirt with the little thing. I like that. I like it.
We'll make the thing logo and just write the little thing.
The little,
The little thing.
with the little above it. Yeah.
little.
Yep. All right, Terry, what you got next?
I don't know. Are we done now? Is this enough?
No, come on, man.
Do people
I'd rather
still
work on taxes.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like, well, I could be finishing I've done everyone else's taxes now, so you know what sounds more fun than being on the Unrelated to Birth podcast?
Taxes.
The IRS.
Hey, now. you
Who
got
needs
till
another hour with Dave Adams? I already get one of those a week.
You got till midnight tomorrow.
Oh, is that we got to do another one of this? We got to do another one of those, don't we? You know.
Yeah, well, no, that we're doing those. We got to figure out when to record that.
So you guys used to do like another podcast, right? Wasn't this called something else originally?
Yeah.
What was it called?
We used to do
I
the
was on that. I was actually on that show.
You were.
Was he really? But that was pre me then, right?
No, you were on it. It was the Tiger Woods saga. It was when Tiger won the Masters. Terry wrote this thing on terryweaver.com about Tiger winning the Masters. And we came and interviewed him about Tiger winning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Glad I made an impact on you, Adam. I appreciate that.
You did, Terry. It meant a lot to me. I have a copy of that too, right next to my copy of the scathing review of the Georgia coach. That's great. But no, with Sideline Warning was a sports podcast, and why did we decide to stop doing that, Dave? Just we'd rather talk about this stuff.
Well, it was because
What happened?
You'd rather have no agenda.
Yeah. Well,
That is true.
no, where sports is a lot of our life, it's not the whole part of what Adam and I are. The reason we brought up the whole unrelated at birth thing is everything Adam and I talk about is basically unrelated. I mean, if you could see our text chain, it goes from his day at Hollywood Studios to my job promotion interview to a Trump rally to something the Braves are doing to the voting I had to do today. It's just all unrelated.
Didn't the Braves start playing baseball again today?
They did inter squad.
Inter squad, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ozzy Albies hit a huge mammoth home run.
And can I tell you what I found out doing Sideline Warning? I learned something about myself, and that is that I love watching baseball, and I could literally watch it all day. But there's so much more that him and Ben would talk about baseball that I just didn't really care about.
Yeah. Well, you picked a good year.
I tried. I got to tell you, man, I tried my best. I researched the heck out of that stuff and tried to keep up and get in there. And I think part of me feels it now. I'm glad we stopped doing that, Dave. No offense, but I just don't miss sports right now.
Well, you picked a good year to not do a sports podcast.
I know.
Wait,
I honestly don't miss it right now.
what is wrong with you?
We made the right choice.
Well, yes, we made the right choice. This is the best best genre for us.
We can touch on sports, but
how can you say you don't miss sports? I'm sitting here looking at Truist Park. I'm looking at my Daniel Moore painting, my my Titans pictures, all my Funko Pops. They're sports.
Your background is the Braves. Yeah.
I miss sports.
Yeah, I've got the Daniel Moore over here. I've got an Alabama thing over there. I've got Bear Bryant this way behind me. But
What's the
I
other
don't
thing
know,
over your
man.
shoulder? What is that?
That is an opening day print, limited edition of '96 from opening day of Mission Space.
Oh,
Interesting story. When it's opened 4 days after I joined with the company. And every day when I got off work, I would drive over to Epcot because I was down here by myself. Blair hadn't moved down here yet. And so it was just me. So I would drive over to Epcot every day after work, and I would ride that 3 or 4 times. And then one day, probably a couple of years after it had opened, I had stopped riding it so much, but it hit me that you're strapping yourself into an attraction with potentially, in my case, being a single rider, 3 complete strangers who were just eating Epcot food in a centrifuge. And I haven't really had that much of a zeal for it since.
That's disappointing because I'll be honest, that's still on the WDW Today guys give me grief for it. That's still one of the most impressive theme park attractions, because especially if you don't do the version of the ride for little children, which some people do that version.
We do with my son.
Yeah, like the new version is really cool with kids, and it's the new way they do it is much better.
Yeah,
so like you see the soaring over the globe, basically.
Yeah.
But
no,
man,
I still love it, and I ride it from time to time. But Mission, I think for me, the whole combination of space, and I feel like it's not a Horizons World of Motion style pavilion that's really a lot about education, but at the same time, it fits so well in the original, kind of thread of what Epcot was intended to be. That
for sure. And
for me, it always holds a place in my heart.
You tell you what I miss is the pre-show where I could always yell out Lieutenant Dan, and like that's not an option anymore. So like
no.
Apparently there's an Imagineering when they redid the ride. Next time your son rides, I don't know how old's your son?
He's 10.
Okay, never mind then. So go borrow someone else's small child and get the booster seat.
Yeah.
But apparently the booster seat like has a reference to Lieutenant Dan on it.
Oh, does it really?
Like there's
my daughter uses those.
Yeah,
even though she shouldn't.
There's a reference to Lieutenant Dan on those. So
okay.
Yeah. Whenever Disney's kind enough to let cast members go in theme parks again, which based on current trends, maybe sooner rather than later. But how was Hollywood Studios today?
Oh, it was so hot.
It looked hot and empty though. Like
yeah, but I mean, it felt. It's definitely. I've heard a lot of people equate a lot of these early openings and cast previews to like a premium experience that like you wish a theme park would always be, right? And it felt like that. I mean, it didn't feel crowded. There honestly were no scenarios we were in where we felt uncomfortable or like, that they weren't doing everything they could to keep everybody safe. They have the lines in the queue and the plexiglass dividing the back and forth, plexiglass dividing the switchbacks. And when we got to do Rise, we did Slinky Dog twice.
Did you get to do all of Rise, or did they?
Yeah. We went straight through the queue, and then it goes into the hangar. Yeah, they skipped the first part with the ship that goes into space.
Oh,
yeah. It may have been just for us, though. It may have been just for us. I don't know why they were doing that, but
they were doing some of that during previews. So
yeah,
it was.
It would be hard to skip. It would be hard to socially distance though on the on that ship because you're kind of crammed in there.
Yeah.
So,
but it was good. I mean, we were able to do Railway, and the kids both loved that. Blair hadn't done that either. That's one of my favorites. Everybody always asks me, do I like Rise or Railway better? I don't think you can even really compare the two because they're two complete different genre of attractions, But yeah, we had a good time.
And the mobile order thing worked great. The Imagineer that did that attraction was about to retire, and when they offered him that ride, he's like, "Okay, I'll stay."
Yeah,
really.
I'm totally mad. He was one of the original Hollywood Studios guys too. He's the same Imagineer that did Cars Land. I'm totally blanking on his name, but he's kind of like Tony Baxter 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, since you're a Googler, Dave, Google Imagineer that did Cars Land.
All right.
Yeah, he just wrote a book on his story. His son actually is either an engineer or an Imagineer for Disney too. There's not a lot of those.
That's cool.
Let's see. No,
Google's quicker than that, Dave. What's your problem, man?
Well, because there's
It's
like
the background picture all over again.
3 or 4 different things here. I have to look it up.
I'll just do it myself.
Well, I'm look. Hey, you shut your face.
Is it Kevin Rafferty?
Rafferty, yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay.
I may need you to start sitting on the top of the world, just to.
I'll be your research assistant.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Wait a
Dave
second.
can't even work Google.
He doesn't even have DVC.
That didn't matter when we started the podcast. You didn't either. So
I was in the process of buying it.
You were thinking about buying externally.
I
Yeah.
was, but yeah, we're not going to get into that.
if the opportunities in the that the economy may provide, Adam may be buying DVC too because they may offer cast members a crazy discount.
You never know.
They already
never
do get a
know.
pretty good discount on DVC membership. So
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
I know lots of cast members that have bought DVC points.
Yeah, I do too.
Adam's logging into the portal now.
What do I need to buy
maybe not
here?
for furlough, but yeah, man. So yeah, I'm excited to get to. I don't know. Hollywood Studios is always one of those places I go where it just feels like it just has a sense. There's just something about that. All the parks have their own thing, but Hollywood Studios, between Star Tours and Primetime Cafe, it just has this sense of like comfort at home.
Yeah.
It was the
Yep.
first theme park I remember going to like as a teenager. And there's something about going when you're a teenager that kind of gives the parks a different feel.
Yeah.
And
That's how I feel about Epcot.
yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Epcot except for, well, you could if you just add some attractions, but they're working on it. They're getting there.
They're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go wrong with Epcot if you start the world going right.
What?
You always start the world. Remember, we had this conversation last year. There was
I
a right
remember.
way.
So
There's
like,
a-
are we talking about just touring? Or are we talking about beverages here?
Well, you always start when you tour. You always start going to Mexico and around the world and finish at Canada. That's the correct way to do the world.
Oh, well, and also for beverages around the world, because I'm definitely a lightweight, surprisingly. The only area of my life that I'm lightweight. But you definitely don't want to end with like Tipsy Ducks in Love in the La Cava tequila.
Oh God, no!
Like those are good. Those are fine in the front end. I've watched people into that way, and let me tell you what, it ends badly. And so,
But so will Remy change your mind on that?
No.
Because technically speaking, if you start left, and I don't want to have the whole debate all over again, but if you start left and go all the way around, you hit 1, 2 attractions. And those are the only attractions all the way around until eventually Remy. Everything else is shows and movies. And so wouldn't you want to save those for last?
what
No.
attractions? What are these attractions you're speaking of in World Showcase?
You've got
Grand Fiesta Tour and Frozen Ever After?
Now, I love Grand Fiesta Tour, but calling
I
it
do
an attraction.
Well, technically it is an attraction. Technically speaking.
it's a ride, but I've never seen it.
No,
more
it's,
than
there are
5
no
minutes.
rides at Disney World, Dave.
I would probably fight you. I would probably fight you if you tried to take it out.
Now I do
I mean,
say
now in the range of things, it's probably a B or C ticket. I mean,
oh no, dude, it's like a.
yeah, but it's an
ticket.
attraction.
Yeah.
It's an attraction.
It's an and it's the equivalent attraction to the little pony out in front of Walmart.
hey,
Like,
Wow.
Terry, here's a name you'll recognize. Brad Toon's watching us. He says you're saving the best for last.
yeah. Okay. Now, if we want to talk about a pavilion that needs a little love at Disney parks,
It's Canada.
Canada's downright embarrassing. I mean, other than,
No. There's no way. Come on.
dude, what's there?
What's
Le
not there?
Cellier, the
I mean,
best,
Thank you.
I mean,
the best
yeah,
steak in Epcot.
Okay. There's your claim to fame, the best steak in a theme park.
I think it's
Cheese dip.
It's not Dave. The pretzel bread is a
It
garnish.
is soup. It is beer soup, Dave.
It is, but tell me you don't dip your pretzel bread in it. So
You
therefore,
do.
it becomes cheese dip.
So when you eat your tomato soup and you put a cracker in it, now your tomato soup is a tomato dip.
Yes.
Oh, oh my God! You're just standing on a point that is not a point. Just to like,
This is the hill I will die on.
wow. When I go to Olive Garden, I sure love their minestrone dip. I dip my breadsticks in it. Come on, man.
All right, Terry, save me. Ask us another question.
Adam, why are you even eating at Olive Garden? Have you been to Olive Garden? Like,
Oh yeah, I love Olive
still eat
Garden.
there?
I love Olive Garden.
Hey, because when you're
Chicken
here,
parm, the giant chicken parm is fantastic.
because when you're here, you're family.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ohana.
what Olive Garden did take a hit when they redesigned their logo, and it looked like a college intern had basically done it for them.
No, Olive Garden took a hit. So, like, I'm a little older than both of you gentlemen, I believe.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Are you
But
really?
Olive Garden, when Olive Garden, like originally opened, if you have an Olive Garden with like that little alcove in the front, like the little like weird circular thing that they don't know,
Yeah.
what, like you got an older one, that
Yeah.
used to be where they used to make homemade pasta.
I remember
Olive
that.
Garden.
Yeah.
They did
And-
that here in Huntsville.
Exactly, like especially like in some other places, in minor markets, they were like you'd go and it's like like homemade pasta. And I think Olive Garden is kind of deteriorated to like, this is an unrelated to birth topic if there ever was one.
This is what we're
Hey,
here for.
This is what our show is, y'all.
There you go.
This is like, let's put it this way: I haven't eaten at an Olive Garden that I didn't regret the very idea intestinally of eating at Olive Garden because it never ends. It never. People like back off Olive Garden. We're family here.
Right.
But yeah, man, the last couple times I've eaten at Olive Garden, there was price to pay.
Yeah. I can honestly say
See,
the last time I ate at Olive Garden was probably
Mhm.
I was in college, probably about 2002.
Dude, you haven't gone for soup, salad, and breadsticks in the
No,
last
Oh,
18
come on,
years
you
of
are
your
a-
life.
no, I have not.
Where does your culinary palate take you, Dave? That's not a
If I'm eating wings, we've got a good Cajun restaurant here in town.
He's like, you know what, man? You want to go get a good meal? You head over to BW3. That place. That's speaking
No,
of.
no, no, no.
You want to go to a place that won't mess with your stomach? Try the B Dubs. Yeah, exactly.
B-dubs. Good old B-dubs. That'll.
Hold up. So Hannah Martin. Hannah, yes, it was my first time in college. Hush.
Oh,
Hannah
so-
went to.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hannah was so. You're a Rick and Bubba fan, Adam.
Yeah, big time.
Hannah was Mighty Mouse on Rick and Bubba.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, she has the right to mess with me because she's been in the radio business for a while.
You have to look at Olive Garden's marketing scheme right now though, and know what you're getting yourself into. I personally love the chicken parm there.
Oh, dude! I
But
mean, the chicken parm.
It's fantastic.
If you could go in and get out and avoid the temptation to eat the salmonella salad.
But any place that'll tell you, please come into our restaurant, and for free, we'll give you more food to eat the next day.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the breadsticks are like Little Caesars pizza, where it's like, okay, we're going to give you this right now. And you literally have 4 minutes. When that 4 minutes is up, it's like Mission Impossible. Like it's over. It's self-destruct.
yeah,
Hannah, we got to get, come on. The salad is life. No, the salad dressing is life.
that's
It's
true.
great at home when you take it home. And you know what's never on an Olive Garden salad?
What's that?
There's never olives.
Yeah,
on
there
an
are.
Olive Garden. No, the
Black olives.
The Olive Garden protocol for a salad for a party of 2 is 2 or 3 olives. So like they're named. That's always the first thing I do when I get there. It's like, if I'm gonna have to put myself there eating at this establishment, you're gonna need to bring me some more dressing, more olives.
And can you make the olives warm, please? Because warm olives are delightful. We've learned.
Yeah, but I mean, now see, I tell you that the real pro tip, if you have to go, you do the poor man's version of the tour of Italy. You get the chicken parm, and then you get you say, "Hey man, I really don't like your spaghetti. Can I get the Alfredo on the side
Yeah.
instead?" And
Yep.
because then
Well,
it's like it's like 2/3 of a tour of Italy, and you
Yeah.
saved yourself like $7.
Yeah. Well, if you get, so we got it 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. We ordered it.
You went to Olive Garden 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I like the chicken parm. We enjoy Olive Garden in our house. I'm sorry if you take offense to that.
I mean,
I apologize.
you
Cheese dip,
do,
man. Don't let me offend your culinary sensibilities. Cheese dip. Okay?
You do live in Mayberry, so
Where do you live?
I'm sorry, Kissimmee, St. Cloud area, like St. Cloud. You know, I mean, Lake Nona's like 10 minutes away.
Like part of St. Cloud where like Wild Florida is?
If you
or
go
like-
out of our subdivision and turn right, Wild Florida is 10 minutes down the road.
Okay. So you really are like basically another mile past your house. There's banjos playing.
Actually, in the house behind us, there's banjos playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
but-
that's what's real interesting about Kissimmee, because most of Kissimmee, well, there's like 3 parts of Kissimmee. There's like, oh, the beautiful Florida, like we used to see the commercials on TV, Central Florida vacation destination Kissimmee, and then there's like 192 where it's like, you know, there's that entire strip mall where it's like one store claims to be selling like vaping products, but you know it's weed.
Yeah.
And then there's the place that supposedly rents strollers, but there's probably some questionable trafficking going on there.
It's under the strollers, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Exactly.
there's the amazing Middle Eastern place called New Jerusalem, I think.
Yeah.
But those guys are.
Yeah.
You go in there too, and it's like, oof, I'm gonna eat and leave.
Yeah.
Because
When I
something's
moved,
about to go down in here.
when we moved here, they still had on all the street signs Kissimmee, St. Cloud, back when it was like one marketing partnership.
marketing
And when they
campaign, yeah.
broke that, we were all so glad. It was like St. Cloud is its own town, dude. Kissimmee needs to, like, you know.
Yeah, and
It
then
is its
you
own
get
thing.
towards Wild Florida, and it's like I remember I was there with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and like it was after like the Visit Florida conference because I do an event in Florida, and so like our outing was going to Wild Florida,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, it's like was Gatorland not weird enough for you?
They have a
Let's go to
drive-through-
Wild
They
Florida.
have a drive-through safari, man. That thing's the bee's knees.
Well, that wasn't there. That wasn't
Yeah.
there when I was originally there. The only thing
who
they really
says
had.
bee's knees anymore?
Who
What is
eats
this, the
cheese? Who eats the
1950s?
cheese soup at Canada and calls it a dip?
People who regularly
quiet.
eat at Olive Garden call it the bee's knees.
But it is funny though. I have to laugh because we have a lot of, you know, working at Disney. There's a lot of folks in like Dr. Phillips Windermere, that part of Orlando that we know and work with, and they always are. Oh, we have Windermere, and our downtown has this nice little French pastry shop, and you live in Mayberry. They basically take Dave's bougie tone with me about where I live, and but
I
every
mean, am I
weekend,
wrong?
every weekend on Facebook, they're posting pictures of visiting Wild Florida. They're posting pictures of them visiting the farm right down from us, which has the you pick strawberries and all that. And it's like, you had to drive out here to post your little bougie pics on Insta, huh? Yeah. That's our normal everyday life. So
I remember I think the last time I was at Wild Florida, this was obviously before they did the drive-through safari,
yeah.
but they had like all these sketchy like half animals.
Half
like a-
animals.
It was like a Zedonk. So it's
So
like it's
what?
like- yeah, well, you guys are both from Alabama, so you completely understand what's going on here. Apparently, they had like an inbreeding of animals situation going on down there at Wild Florida, because it's
I
like
don't know if I
half
should be
donkey,
offended by this.
half donkey, half zebra.
Where do you live, Terry?
I live in Nashville, Tennessee,
Ten of what?
but
I don't know that the pot should call the kettle black here.
dude, I grew up in DC, so like I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, DC's a much more normal place than
yeah,
Tennessee or Alabama.
Especially now.
yeah. Carol Baskin. Yes, that's
Carol
Wild
Baskin.
Florida. That is Wild Florida. Like,
Hey, you cool cats and kittens. This is the bee's knees.
yeah.
Wait, is Carol Baskin in Florida?
Tampa.
Is she really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did you
I mean, we
not?
can go-
Did you not pay attention in the whole like? They showed it like 50 times.
I mean,
I still haven't seen that. I do know
Oh,
they were
have you
looking
not?
for they were looking for human remains at their property over the weekend. So
Oh my gosh! Man.
that was the first half of quarantine.
Oh,
You can't.
that's
We've
true.
had
Who
murder
remembers
hornets.
anything?
we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, even today we've got the Black Plague squirrels in Colorado.
Right?
So
My
maybe that's
my
what we'll
favorite.
That's a good name for the new Washington Redskins, the old Black Plague Squirrels.
Black Plague Squirrels. my favorite thing in that article is the big headline that says bubonic plague discovered in a squirrel in, where was it? Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And then down about 2 scrolls down, it says, this is the first instance this year of finding a squirrel testing positive. It's like this happens every year.
I know.
Every
that's the
year.
weird thing. It's like a lot of these things happen all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. 2020 is kind of that year. I was reading, we've been floating around in the old WDW Today world, the old Orlando Health article about like the accuracy of
Oh, man.
COVID testing. It's like, no.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we had 98%. Oh, no. Wait a second. We meant 9.8%.
Hang on. Where's my soapbox? I'm trying to find my soapbox so I can get up on it really quick about it.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, Terry. Just remember, Terry,
No.
opened this box.
I don't have a point to make that everybody hasn't already made.
Yeah, it's just it's this is definitely one of those, like, you ever like remember that teacher in school that used to like do story time and it's like, I don't know what story you're telling, dude. Like, this is the hard. It's hard to follow along right now, and that's kind of 2020. It's like, excuse me, what are we doing?
Yep.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, Pepperidge. Ryan Street. Who remembers Tiger King? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Good old Ryan Street always coming in clutch.
Ryan Street coming in. Hey, Ryan Street's actually watching us. This is a first.
Yeah,
We're flattered.
Ryan
I know,
Street,
right?
Ryan Street and Adam's dad.
There you go. And Hannah. Don't forget Hannah.
Hannah's at Olive Garden right now, chowing down on breadsticks for the next. She's got 3.5 minutes left on her breadstick.
Oh my gosh,
Adam,
if you're wondering, this is the mosaic at Riviera, my home resort.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
No, no, that doesn't look anything like that. That's the rendering of the mosaic at Riviera.
No, that's the picture. So that's from the WDW couples website.
Okay.
Anyway,
Adam, you and I could talk for a minute here. Do you ever stuff like wonder how you got into this with Adam? Like, it's like, how did this happen? Like, what decisions did I make in my life that I now am required to talk to Dave Adams on a weekly basis publicly?
It's like I said, I was already voluntarily doing it. And I figured, why not record it and see if anybody finds this mildly interesting, you know?
See if anybody else.
What the crap? Come on!
There might be at least 3 people that think this is something interesting to listen to. So,
Hannah, your dad, and Ryan Street.
oh man!
Oh, you guys are horrible. With friends like you, who needs enemies, right?
Hey,
you guys, your Alabama. You met in the dorms at Alabama.
Yep.
And are you from Alabama, or did you just?
I am, yeah.
Okay, because nobody people from other states aren't going. You know where I really want to go to school? The University of Alabama, unless you're a football player.
Hold up now. There's a lot of Georgia people. You are opening up Pandora's box, Terry Weaver.
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
There are a lot of Georgia people and a lot of Texas people at UA.
Probably because their parents made them do it.
Yeah, well, Hannah, you willingly watch us, so don't give me this. Your kids went to bed. This is what your life has come to.
She's eating cold chicken parm and watching us talk. That's what she's doing.
But anyway, so yes, Adam is from Alabama. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah.
Bye.
I was just asking. I mean, it was
He's just asking a nice question.
I was just asking the man where he was from, and you got all personal about it. That's where I had to fire back. So you guys went to college, and then life happened, and you're both working your nerdy dad jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to do this? What was besides the fact that Adam was like, well, let's see if we can let other people join in the torture.
I'm not a broadcasting guy personally, being an engineer by trade. So this was very, very uncomfortable for me. I wouldn't listen to myself talk for at least 6 months after we started Sideline Warning. And so for me to do this, for me, it's like an outlet. It's one thing that is unlike anything else I've ever done and would ever have thought to do if Dave hadn't asked me to be on Sideline Morning. And so I enjoy it from that perspective. It's just, a lot of folks are consumers and they're happy being consumers, but I want to always make sure that I try to instill it in my kids to be creators and bring something forward and add something,
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
why I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, this is my outlet because I actually majored in broadcasting in college. And if you had told me that I would be not doing anything professionally in broadcasting and I'd be in the quote unquote
this definitely isn't professional.
No, not yet. But I'd be in the quote unquote family business and working in the defense industry, then I would have laughed at you when I first went to college. But this was a good way to use my creative output to get back into broadcasting and get into something that I love doing. And I mean, doing this show, we bring our dad expertise. I mean, you've already heard us talking about our kids on this show.
I love the way you describe the defense industry like it's a family business. Like you and your dad grew up making missiles in the backyard.
It's like Tony Stark.
Well, no, I totally didn't go Tony Stark. I went like tinfoil hat and like I bought a John Deere. I bought a John Deere tractor and I tried to hook it up to my rocket launcher and see what would happen.
Well, I mean, so I never wanted to get into defense because that's something my dad did. And while I look up to my dad, while I respect my dad and I never got along. We're totally different people. I'm a very creatively output person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. My dad's he was never in the military, but if you look up general, the type of person who interacts with generals, that's my father. Yeah. He wears a suit to work every day. Well, he just retired, but he would wear a suit to work every day, even if it was casual Friday.
So I know my experience, and I'm getting to catch a little bit of Adam's experience. And now I'm hearing about your dad. Who does enjoy being around you, Dave?
My wife, my daughters, Adam's family.
That was a free one for Adam because I knew he would appreciate that singer.
Oh man, Bazinga!
Bazinga!
I'm happy just letting that one sit for a second too.
Let it sit.
I'm an acquired taste, and I am well aware of that.
Adam's just happy I didn't come on here to talk about the Disney IT department tonight. So we've had him freaked out that's all I was going to talk about. I know, dude, you were completely scared like crap. Terry is going to come on here and talk about the Disney IT department. And I will say, I must commend the fine folks at the Disney IT. I was all prepared. I was like, I do this group for Disney entrepreneurs called the Mousepreneur Hub. And I was like, okay, whoever gets the longest hold time today, I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee. Because the last time people were on hold for like 14 hours.
Yeah.
And like, I literally like I have, all I saw was like my friends posting all day. I haven't seen my children all day, but I have heard Zippity Doodah 770 times. So you won't hear that again. But the hold music at least works. And no, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine working in that department at a company like Disney. I've cussed you out vicariously for years. So I will avoid.
Every day is an adventure.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Yeah.
I remember I was there, and this is where I think my real, I think where my, under my skin, experience with the EIT department, I was there when they rolled out the Lilo, reservation system. We were on property. And I don't know if you worked for Disney then.
But I did work for Disney. I wasn't in IT though, but yeah.
But basically the entire Disney infrastructure exploded one weekend. It lost everyone's reservations and all the Windows machines shut down and
So wait, Disney uses Windows and not Apple?
Well, I don't know if they do now, but this was way before iPhone was a thing. This was I don't know when they rolled that sucker out, but it was a long time ago.
I love that comment, Dave.
Well, no,
You mean there are companies that use Windows for their major infrastructure that drives all of their transactions? Yes,
Well,
Dave. That's
No,
called
'cause
IT.
I thought
It's
that
mostly Windows.
I thought that
No.
Steve Jobs and I guess it was Eisner at the time were like buddy.
No,
so I
Steve
thought-
Jobs and Eisner didn't get along at all.
Mm-mm.
So
That
who was it
That was,
that
that was why
Jobs?
that was why the Pixar deal almost fell through
Okay.
because Eisner
'Cause-
and Eisner and Steve didn't see eye to eye.
At one point in time, there was rumors that Apple was going to buy Disney.
The rumors.
Yeah.
It's still possible.
Eh.
There are very few companies that Apple couldn't buy.
I mean, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Marketing departments are on the same wavelength. By the way, can we all move past that now? And I'm not talking about Disney. I'm talking about everybody. Can we just not stick plus on the end of everything and think that that's a good marketing strategy? Like in the United States, there's two things that bother me right now more than anything in marketing, and that's putting plus on the end of everything. And have we forgotten what an adverb is? Live different. Think different. No, it's differently. That is an adverb. You're describing a verb.
I think different is literally the most brilliant marketing campaign.
And it's grammatically incorrect. Its
It-
brilliance
it-
can
well, that's
stand
fine.
aside from that, but it's grammatically incorrect.
It happened. What did you graduate from Alabama?
In the year of our Lord 2002.
You're far-
Can't you say 2002?
Bees knees. I'm going full boomer on you
in the
guys
year
right
of
now.
our Lord. Why don't you go put your oh gosh, your freaking suit of armor from medieval times on and read that.
I'll go put my nightcap. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, man, that was like I think that was like 90, 97, 98. So yeah, I mean, that was probably when you were just graduating high school. That was a huge marketing campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll
remember that.
I'll agree with you can't think different. It's iconic. It worked. But
I guess for me now, it's more like every commercial like leaves off the ly off of their adverbs. It drives me crazy. Even like shampoo commercials.
well, I
Drives me
mean,
nuts.
every
Why-
commercial,
why-
every commercial now is like during these unprecedented times.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't
But yeah,
want to hear unprecedented or droplet ever again in my life.
Oof.
Well, what was it that Taylor said on our show a couple weeks ago? What was it? Mucus and secretion?
You can Yeah, that's what the mask is for, is mucus and secretions. Ooh.
Yeah.
We had a friend of ours, WDW couple, come on the show. She's a nurse, and she was telling us about masks in theme parks. And she said, if they get wet, it's not very good because they don't hold in mucus or secretion. Like, Taylor, our listeners don't want to hear those words.
That's just, yeah.
Although you've
Just
said it
unnecessary.
9 times now, so
Oh, you should have seen how many times we ended up fitting it into that episode after she said
Yeah.
that.
And then, so that's another word. And then the other phrase that Adam hates is when we talk about Hamilton, he hates the phrase sex scandal.
Because we have people whose children listen to this show, Dave.
there's no children that listen to this television.
Oh, yes,
It's
there
not a
are.
program.
Oh, yes, there are. People listen
there's
to it with their children. Trust me. We've had the
There's a-
comments.
Yeah, there's at least 4.
Okay.
So that makes 7 total people, Terry. Are you
Yeah.
impressed yet?
We have 7. We have accounted for 7 people.
and now that Ryan's here, that's 8. So we're growing by the second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ryan's probably just building a lightsaber or something tonight. So he had nothing else to do but to turn this on while he's
Speaking of, let's go ahead and Adam. This is Dave's opinion,
Okay.
not Adam's. Adam works for the company. Adam
Oh, man, we
can't.
talked about this, dude. Come on.
I know.
You can't help
Savi's-
it. You can't help it, can you?
No, the Savi's news came out today. You can't build your own lightsaber anymore for a while.
Nope. Even at the preview today, they have the hilts in the case at Doc Ondar's, but you can't see them there. You have to go to Savi's to see them.
Yeah, that makes me sad.
But what are you going to do, man? There's no place to put all the people that want to buy those hilts. That Doc Ondar's is not big enough to social distance in. They had the queue
No.
set up, and they were maybe spots for 7 people, 7 parties
Really?
in there.
Okay.
Maybe. And then they're
Yeah.
going to line up out the door. So they got to use the space they've got. And that was one of the interesting things today was the queue for Rise. It was actually pretty funny. You go through the whole queue for Rise, most of the indoor queue, and then they shoot you out a side door. And then you end up using the Muppets extended queue and then
Really?
going back in the side door. because they're spaced out so much with that 6 foot spacing. They just don't have enough room. And so for me, when you exit me out the side door, you're evacuating the attraction, you're clearing the queue. And so I'm like, is it down? Is it not coming up? And they were like, welcome to Muppets. And they're making a big joke out of it. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? I'm riding Rise of the Resistance. I told my kids we were doing this. And they're like, oh no, it's back up. This is just the queue we use. I'm like, you got to warn somebody about that.
I'm pretty sure. So this will be fun for your if Disney's listening, because we know they're not.
Hey,
but I'm pretty sure.
Hey,
my mom caught COVID in January in the queue to Rise of the Resistance, because we were in the queue in like that was when it was pretty early on, and it shut down, and we were in there with this massive Chinese tourist group. And so my mom was like really, really sick with all the COVID symptoms when we got back from that trip. So I'm pretty sure Rise of the Resistance gave her that, but as she will clearly tell you, it was worth it. So
amen to that.
Here's the deal. So if you subscribe to the whole you can only get it once, your mom truly rose with the resistance.
Yes, exactly. She has the resistance.
Yes, that was me. I made that joke.
No,
don't
actually,
don't spike that ball.
There.
Don't spike that ball.
That was me.
All right, SpongeBob.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. Well, yeah, there's a lot wrong with SpongeBob.
Well, you're in the pineapple under the sea over there with the.
This is Riviera. It's my home resort.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time. You see all the garland right back there?
Right back there.
Back there,
Back there, and all them their things. So Terry, let's wrap this up.
Before we wrap, can I check on something, Dave? Can I get a check really quick? The picture behind you is Riviera. Is that your home resort?
Yeah,
that is my home resort.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we understood.
How long have you been doing this, Adam?
How long have I been doing this?
Yeah.
A year and a half.
Okay. You've survived. That's pretty.
I survived.
Survive? Come on, Terry.
I've survived.
Hey, you knew what you were in for.
I'm not leaving in tears, right?
No. I think Dave is, but he's been whining the whole night anyway. So what's the big deal?
No, this isn't whining. You would know whining.
Oh, Ryan. Put Ryan's comment on the screen. Can I?
Which one? The SpongeBob?
No, the one about a plug incoming. I don't know what plug he's expecting, but
does he want me to say that he will get a plug for Top of the World, the original DVC podcast, or is he wanting a plug for his show?
I don't know what he's wanting.
But I mean, if people look at his logo, there's a plug for his show. I'm not going to say it for our non-video people.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fun. Have we actually accomplished anything? I guess that's the purpose of this show.
We've made a normal, unrelated to birth show. This is one of our episodes right here.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's the beauty of this show. And so back to look, the end of what we do in a lot of our shows is we relate everything we talk about. The very first question you asked us, Terry, is how do we meet? What's the whole point of all this? Well, Adam and I.
The only question I actually got into.
Well, you got a couple of them, but Adam and I ended up. We got to be such good friends in college. Everyone always said that we were separated at birth, and everything that we do, even as much as our two daughters, Ellie and I just forgot your daughter's name, Emma. Ellie and Emma. It seems like they.
Well, we made it to 51, Dave. It was a good run.
With friends like these.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Ellie and Emma are also basically the same person as well. And so it just, everything that happens comes around. And so it really, Adam and I are basically like brothers when it comes to all this. And everything we do, we talk about just random crap, but we find a way to make it all related there at the end.
If it makes you feel any better, Terry, the very first episode, I think it was, Dave,
yes.
We had a quick little 10-minute exercise of if you had to sort NASCAR drivers into Hogwarts houses, where would they end up? That's how unrelated this crap gets sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
this is far for the
those are
court.
two subjects I know very little about. 'Cause
Terry,
I've not
so
seen a Harry Potter film, and I found quarantine version of NASCAR way more entertaining than the
I did too,
actual
honestly.
NASCAR.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
The iRacing stuff was
Yeah.
so much better than the actual
was.
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, fine. Ryan is pouting over here.
Yeah.
If you like mine and Adam's show, go listen to Ryan and his show.
You probably won't like the I Am Geek podcast, but sure, you can give it a try. Ryan will teach you how to make your own lightsaber, if nothing else.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, but that's kind of what brought us all into this. Is just
There's the love he wanted.
we gave him some love. It's all about love.
I'm
One
sure
love.
he feels it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I just the whole point of this thing is this would be how Adam and I talk. We're doing it just apparently. You see this. We've had interaction all night, and it's not just from your parents this week, Adam. We've had interaction from people who have loved watching this show and interacting with us. So there are people out there that actually love what we do.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome because
8 of them.
hey, look, 8 is better than 0.
Yes.
That's all I would
Yes.
say.
Yes,
and
yes.
and I do appreciate the fact that 8 of you decided to spend right now. We're at an hour and 15 minutes doing this thing live. 8 of you just decided that this is how you would spend your Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
And to me, look at that. Wendy's joined now, Adam.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah, but to me, that's what makes this fun. You know, podcasting is it's all about who hangs out, who listens. Thank you, Brad. 7. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Now
Dave.
there's 8.
Which, since we're
Yes.
giving plugs, you guys should all go hang out in the Unrelated at Birth Facebook group, because that's the best thing about a podcast is when you guys get in the community.
It
You
is.
guys
Yeah.
get to know people and talk to other people and find other people.
Yeah,
You know,
Dave's been busy in that group lately too. Our social media manager's actually. Please do me a favor, Dave. Do not read Hannah's comment. Which means
one?
you're going to read it. I know this one. I'll pull it up. That one.
Well, but see, I don't agree with it because, I mean, I like both of those sports. She says the only thing worse than NASCAR is baseball, and
But that's why we don't do a sports podcast, because if we only did a sports podcast, the two things we talked about a good bit were NASCAR and baseball. Hannah wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
Now
that's
she
very
does
true.
because we do this.
Yeah.
So
that's very true. But
I'm not even sure how is Hannah from Alabama too?
she is. She went to UA with me.
How is that possible? How can someone who lives in Alabama not like baseball and NASCAR?
She's a gymnastics person.
Okay, I understand. My wife was like on that path in like middle school to be like to be in the Olympics. So like
Really?
gymnastics- Yeah, she went and trained with like Bella Caroli and all of that stuff.
wow.
Down
That's
there.
impressive.
Yeah. So like, yeah, she definitely had the athletic talents in the family. Because as you can
Okay.
tell, I don't.
Wait a second. Hannah makes a good point. She asks, if you don't like NASCAR and football, what's the point? Because football. If you don't like NASCAR and baseball, because football.
Yeah.
What do you do the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Not miss sports like me now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Terry, you now
Being
have
from
to
Nashville, I definitely miss some Predators hockey, man.
it comes back at the end of the month.
It does, doesn't it? Where
August
are they
1st. I think they're in their own stadiums.
playing? The empty stadiums.
Yeah. Terry, Hannah, being the gymnastics freak she is now asking who your wife is, because she probably would know who she is.
I mean, she didn't make the Olympics or anything. She blew out her kneecap and couldn't go.
That's a shame.
Yeah, she couldn't go any further. But she
Well.
trained at Sokol Gymnastics and then spent, I think, 2 summers at the Crowleys, like elite camp, outside of Houston back in the day. So, dude, when it's SoCal for 4 years and outside Nashville for 2 years. There you go. And my
Yeah.
wife's name is Leslie, but yeah, Leslie Weaver. But yeah,
Okay.
we don't miss a gymnastics event. And you know what's kind of weird about college sports, because you guys, your bromance met during like women's. You should have gone to gymnastics.
Oh, dude, I
Oh,
did.
we did.
Okay.
We were all over the gymnastics meets. Man. That was the most hopping thing in Coleman Coliseum you've ever seen in your whole life.
I was going to say, dude, because like SEC gymnastics is pretty intense.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
Gymnastics meets were real gas back in the day.
Yeah, they still are. But
Well,
I couldn't imagine watching male gymnastics, but
oh no,
just watching dudes in leotards just is my
no, thank you.
I
mean, if
that
you
was
like
actually the other name that you guys were going to go with for the show.
yes,
Was dudes in leotards.
Yeah, you should have seen the first logo, the first draft we had. That's why we have just the heads now. Because
yeah. Although there is a funny picture. If you go to our blog, we need to do some more updating our blog, but unrelated@birth.com. The very first blog post is the rough draft of our head logo, the two heads.
Oh, that was the final draft. We paid for that one.
No. There was the rough draft where it was me. Looks like I was eating the microphone.
Yeah.
And
The first one, that one with the thing at the bottom, that's the one we ended up paying for, and then we just made the heads. But the first one, we need to show did we show the progression of that? Wasn't that one of the blog posts? I think that's the first one.
Yeah.
I think there's a picture in there. It looked like you were angrily screaming at me.
Yeah.
In one of the early drafts. So
that's normal.
Which kind of goes with what the show ended up being.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, I think Terry has endured enough Hades, his personal Hades, to doing this show. But whoa, Terry, are you coughing?
Hey,
you can't. I forgot you can't do that. I'll tell you the story. So my wife made this awesome fish dish for dinner tonight, but she made couscous.
Ooh,
I don't know what it is about but the fish had panko breadcrumbs on it. So between the panko and the couscous, like right before I came up here to start doing this podcast, I had this terrible I don't know if I inhaled the couscous or what happened, but I had a couscous incident tonight. So
do you have a headache? Could you taste the couscous?
I could definitely taste the couscous, and I could definitely taste my sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
So,
all right, just making sure. All right,
yeah, we're good.
So Terry, before we leave, before we tell everybody good night, tell everybody about the thing. Tell everybody about the Making Elephants Fly podcast, and tell them about the greatest podcast with the best co-hosts in the world.
WW Today is a podcast that Logan Seculo, Will Haynes, Matt Lott, and the Grease. Oh, you mean Top of the World, the show that
I mean Top of the World, yeah.
You and I most weeks we do a podcast about the Disney Vacation Club. When we couldn't find anybody else to do it, we brought you in to be my new co-host.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, it's like we went down the list of all kinds of people. It's like, well, we can get Dave Adams; he'll do it. And but so yeah, we do this. We have a lot of fun. We talk about Disney and Disney Vacation Club. It's kind of fun again to actually have the parks open because almost the entire time we've done this, like the parks have been closed, and so it's been real hard to be remotely positive about anything in this world, much less Disney, when there wasn't any Disney. And and so we do that every week. I do a podcast called Making Elephants Fly. In fact, if we ever get done with this podcast, I'm about to upload an interview I did with Dan Cockrell, who was the former vice president of the Magic Kingdom. Dan's kind of legendary status at Disney. We had an awesome conversation. He answers. I gave him the question. I was like, "What would you tell Disney cast members right now in leadership? What would you tell managers and leaders at Disney right now?" We had a great conversation.
Give us a preview. What did he say?
Dude, you'll have to listen to the show. It's a great episode. And then of course I've got my book, Making Elephants Fly, that you can get at terryweaver.com. And but yeah, man, this was fun. I'm glad we did it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Terry.
Maybe I'll come back another 100 episodes, another 50 episodes.
Hey, who knows? Maybe this could be an every 50 episode thing.
Yeah. It's like once a year I'm willing to put myself through this. or maybe Adam and I'll just break off and do our own show and decide to leave you out of all of everything.
No. Wait a second.
I survived, huh? Yeah.
There you go. The Survivor of Dave podcast. There you go.
See, Dave was all worried I was going to hurt your feelings, and he's the one that has had his feelings hurt the entire night. I feel like he needs a blanket or something, like in
Poor
I
Dave.
do.
a teddy bear
Is there a blanket in the closet at Riviera at your
at your home resort.
home resort?
I don't know. I haven't made it home yet.
I think that was one of the NBA complaints was the blanket situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like okay, guys, you know what? I don't know if I know this because I've used it, but Amazon Prime probably delivers to Riviera. If you want a blanket, just hop on there and order yourself a blanket. You make millions of dollars a year. You could afford. You're going to be there.
Yeah,
You're going to be there a couple weeks. It sounds like so.
I'm going to be there just 1 week when I get my welcome home stay at Riviera. First
Your
week
home
of
resort.
October. My home resort. I mean, I signed. Look, I'm proud of it, but I signed it the day Disney shut down for COVID.
All right, where's the button where we make this stop?
Anyway, guys, hey
I'm
Terry,
reconsidering this.
I haven't found it yet, Terry. If you find it,
Yeah.
let me know.
Terry, we on this show appreciate the fact that you've come on. We know that you had some other deals that you could have done tonight, and we appreciate that you came on and
Don't tell
spending-
anyone, but I actually had a good time. So
yeah. Well, thank you, Terry.
We did too.
We did too. This was a lot of fun. That's what this show is about. Just coming on, having fun, hanging out. We 99%
breadsticks at Olive Garden.
Yeah, breadsticks, chicken parm, DVC, hockey, who knows. 99% of the time, we don't have an agenda. We just talk. And that's what that's what makes the best shows. But guys, I really, really do appreciate you, Terry, coming on. Adam, if they want to talk to our show and they want to say anything, tell Terry how great Dave is, how much he should appreciate Dave doing the Top of the World podcast with him. What's the phone number that they would call for the Unrelated at Birth line?
Oh, I thought you were going there. I thought you wanted people to call you personally and make you feel better. For the Unrelated at Birth line is 650 UAB show. Dial it out on your keypad. Listen for the beep. Leave a message. We'll play it on the show. We'll talk about it. And that's what it sounds like. Thank you, Dave. That was a really great example. So listen for that.
For the people that didn't know what a beep sounded like.
All right. And so 650 UAB. See, now you got me all tripped up. 650 UAB show is the number. Dave, tell them about our socials.
So if you want to get a hold of the show on Instagram or Facebook, just search for Unrelated at Birth on Instagram. We are at Unrelated at Birth. On Twitter, it is impossible to find anything unrelated or at birth or separated at birth or anything like that. So we are at Not Related Bros. I am at DAdams419 on both Instagram and Twitter. He is at Run Tide Run on both Instagram and Twitter. If you want to get a hold of us, follow the show, any of that. Also, if you have a good time on the show and you enjoy what we do, if you feel like doing a Patreon, we do have our patreon.com/unrelated at birth. It goes immediately back into the show. You see this wonderful StreamYard thing that Adam has wonderfully laid out and remembered the ticker this weekend or this
You
week.
had to remind me. But
I did, but that's just how we do things. This is basically because of Patreon. So we do appreciate everybody that has helped contribute to the show and helped contribute to the madness. As Terry would probably be sitting here thinking, what did I give my Tuesday evening for?
Terry's like, did I shave my legs for this?
But anyway, guys, go
That's
ahead.
a weird
Terry?
song right there.
Wow, is that how we're going to end the show, guys?
Why not?
We appreciate you. As we have said numerous times on this show, Adam and I would be sitting here texting like this. I'd be trying to call Adam. He would be blocking my call and texting me back anyway because he doesn't answer his phone. But this is how we talk. And the fact that you spend, 8, 10, 5, 12, whoever, how many people joined us on this Tuesday evening to sit here and listen to us ramble.
And those that are listening on their podcast feed, and that's my assumption, right?
Yes.
Is that everyone's listening on their podcast feed because nobody wants to stare here and have to look at you guys.
I know,
So
right?
that's the beauty of a podcast feed is they can go on and
Hi. but to me, it just means a lot to me. And I can't speak for Terry. I can't speak for Adam. But the fact that you would spend an hour listening to us because you're not driving in your car right now. I mean, are you going to go to work in your living room? But you're spending time listening to us, and that
I do
means
have
a
a
lot.
friend that literally every day leaves his neighborhood, turns around and drives in with his kids. So they like got the whole like school experience. They were doing that for the whole like season.
Really?
So, like, yeah,
Wow.
like just so they had some sense of like, okay, the day begins now.
Yeah.
Because we all admit there were days where like basic hygiene wasn't followed. Like,
you
like,
got that right.
there was all like a low point in this quarantine thing where it was just like, well, I've got no video calls today. So like,
All I knew was that Tuesday I had to take a shower because that's when we're going live on Facebook.
yeah.
So,
So what we've learned is for the quarantine, Dave has showered at least once a week. So
Congratulations.
which is why in Dave's house he's just finished his basement because
Yes.
his wife now keeps him down there.
I live in my office. But anyway, guys, we
Which
said
is
every
at
week-
your home resort in Riviera.
Bam, 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 bam. I love it.
Oh,
All right,
this
Dave,
might
close
be,
us out.
this might be Terry's last time on the show. But
I can only wish.
oh, you didn't say I could only imagine. I was really hoping you would. I'd go into song. But
That's exactly why I
Thank
didn't.
you. Thank you.
but guys, we really enjoy it. Thank you for spending this evening with us. Guys, we say it every week, and I mean it. I don't know about everybody else, but I love each and every one of you that really stays and listens to all of us. But guys, thank you so much. We love y'all. Adam, take them home.
Yeah, guys, like Dave said, we love you, but not as much as Jesus does. You guys be kind to each other. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you next week. Bye, guys.